The best of Reddit. October 11, 2019. Politics, Barr met privately with Murdoch amid impeachment scrutiny, report. Science, researchers have uncovered evidence of the storage and delayed consumption of animal bone marrow at Qesem Cave near Tel Aviv. The research provides direct evidence that early Paleolithic people saved animal bones for up to 9 weeks before feasting on them inside the cave. Politics, U.S. soldier in Syria, I am ashamed for the first time in my career. Shower thoughts. If there is a perfectly spherical ball, on a perfectly flat surface, the part of the ball touching the flat surface is infinitely small. Science. The sea is running out of fish, despite nations' pledges to stop it. Major countries that are promising to curtail funding for fisheries are nevertheless increasing handouts for their seafood industries. Politics. Trump slams Fox News over poll showing 51% want him removed from office. Science. New refrigeration technique harnesses the ability of rubber, as well as other materials like fishing line and sewing thread, to cool down when released from a tight twist, with double the cooling efficiency of simple stretch and release. Movies. New poster for Disney and Pixar's Onward, starring Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. Not the Onion. Nobody is running for mayor in New Hampshire town. Politics. McGrath raises nearly $11 million in third quarter for bid to unseat McConnell. Politics. Lindsey Graham dishes on Trump in hoax calls with Russians. Technology. Revealed, Google made large contributions to climate change deniers. News. Hundreds of young trans people seeking help to return to original sex. Shower thoughts. When we talk about the quick brown fox, we all imagine the fox to be orange. Till spiders can use Earth electric field to fly hundreds of miles, spiders have been found 2.5 miles up in the air, and 1,000 miles out in the sea. Till a long-lost 1926 Japanese silent horror film was rediscovered 45 years later, when its director found a print in his own storehouse in 1971. Nearly a third of it is still missing. News. California set to end private prisons and immigrant detention camps. Science. Diet boosts mood, helps manage depression. Technology. Google pulls Hong Kong protest game for violating rules against capitalizing on sensitive events. Technology. Apple is getting slammed by both Republicans and Democrats for pulling an app used by Hong Kong protesters to monitor police activity. World news. South Park episode banned in China screened on Hong Kong streets. Movies. Weathering with You official subtitled teaser January 17. Today I learned that when a streetcar hit a bus Frida Kahlo was on, she was impaled by a handrail, fracturing her spine and pelvis. Due to these severe injuries and the long recovery, Frida took up painting to pass the time. She is now considered to be one of Mexico's greatest artists. Unethical. ULPT. If you know you are going to fail an exam or test, buy a bottle of Ipecac and drink it a minute before the exam starts. Within a few minutes, you will begin vomiting and be excused from the test. Not the Onion. Council motion calls for signs at churches warning of dangers within. LPT. Squeeze a little air out of the sriracha or any condiment bottle before you close it so you don't get lava in your eye the next time you open it. Politics. Senior advisor to Pompeo resigns. Science. New research shows that the koala is developing genomic immunity to koala retrovirus, a disease that makes the animal susceptible to chlamydia, leukemia, and lymphoma. This immunity is something scientists knew about in theory but had never observed in progress. News. Iraqi protesters say they have videos of government atrocities. An internet blackout is stopping the world from seeing them. News. Florida man who shot unarmed man in parking space dispute sentenced to 20 years. Technology. Cambridge Analytica whistleblower, U.S. heading in same direction as China with online privacy. Unethical. ULPT. If you are divorced and have shared custody of a child, when in the presence of your ex so fake phone calls for work, it makes it more believable that work is an excuse to not do anything they ask with less likelihood of being documented and used against you in court. Politics. The U.S. system is now officially rigged to help the super-rich, new data show. News. A Marine veteran walked over 800 miles in 42 days for veteran suicide awareness. News. North Philly man cleared of murder after 27 years in prison, the 10th exoneration under DA Larry Krasner. Unpopular opinion, it's not that I don't have empathy for people, it's just a lot of people don't want solutions but rather people who enable them. World News, South Park declares the Chinese government in 300th episode after the show was banned in China. LPT, if you are shy, try to force yourself to talk to one person per day. If you force yourself to interact with others you will become less afraid. Speaking from experience. News, Pope accepts resignation of NYC bishop accused of abuse. World News, 2 men who worked with Rudy Giuliani to dig up dirt on Biden have been arrested. Science, study identifies a key reason black scientists are less likely to get NIH funding. Topic choice. Topics such as health disparities, adolescent health, and fertility tend to get lower marks and lower priority from NIH, accounting for 21% of the funding disparity. World News, nearly a third of arrested Hong Kong protesters under age 18, city's number 2 official reveals, calling trend heartbreaking. LPT, if you get anxious when you smoke weed because all of a sudden you feel the need to correct behaviors that you'd previously been in denial about or numb to, just relax. None of that is going to change in a meaningful way until you embrace it as where you're at. Unpopular opinion, the abortion issue would hardly even be a thing if more people actually practiced safe sex. Not the Onion, Milford Haven woman admits racially abusing neighbor while breasts were hanging over fence. Not the Onion, Fatboy Slim samples Greta Thunberg for live show. Shower thoughts, public washrooms have shown us that not everyone knows how to use a toilet. Science, researchers created lenses 1,000 times thinner to hopefully eliminate smartphone camera bumps. The lens measures just a few microns thick. World News, tip of the iceberg, prosecutors allege vast criminal conspiracy by Giuliani associates to funnel foreign cash to Trump and GOP. Unethical, ULPT request, how to avoid street parking tickets, chalk tires. Unpopular opinion, young men are severely lacking positive masculine role models in media. Unpopular opinion, fat shaming is okay. Movies, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit trilogies coming to 4K UHD. Politics, majority now want Donald Trump impeached and removed from office, poll. Politics, Trump's former Russia advisor set to give damning testimony on Giuliani, Sondland. Shower thoughts, gloves must have been really important back in the day to have their own box in every car. Science, study investigated what makes rabbits cute by evaluating the preference for rabbit faces according to skull morphology and demographic factors. Technology, Florida is scooping up huge amounts of data on schoolchildren, including security camera footage and discipline records, and researchers are worried. Unpopular opinion, going after plastic straws to save the environment is nothing but theatrics. Technology, Blizzard employees stage walkout over Hearthstone pro player ban. World News, prosecutors say Giuliani associates were trying to leave the country with one-way tickets when arrested. Politics, megathread, 2 Giuliani associates tied to Ukraine scandal arrested on campaign finance charges. LPT, when speaking to someone who doesn't speak your language or speak it fluently, don't treat them as if they are uneducated. News, Nike pulls Houston Rockets merchandise from China stores. World News, the United Nations warned that it may not be able to pay its staff on time because the US owes it $1 billion. Movies, Russell Crowe to star in horror thriller Georgetown Project will play a troubled actor who begins to unravel while shooting a horror film. News, Prague Council cancels sister city deal with Beijing. Science, billions face food, water shortages over next 30 years as nature fails. A new model shows which areas of Earth will likely be hit the hardest by the changes caused by human activity, also revealing possible solutions. LPT, every time a friend mentions things they like, type of candy, favorite restaurant, etc., jot it down in an ongoing note on your phone. That way when birthdays and holidays come up, you have a thoughtful list of gift ideas. Not the Onion, Siberian shaman vows to resume Putin exorcism trek following extremism arrest, The Moscow Times. Politics, 11,000 Kurds died fighting ISIS and now the US is abandoning them, who will help America next time? World News, Chinese officials provided open source material on Hunter Biden to Trump advisor. World News: Trump asked Rex Tillerson to scrap a criminal case against wealthy Turkish gold trader and Erdogan ally charged with helping Iran evade U.S. sanctions. Technology: Rwanda just released the first smartphone made entirely in Africa. News: Taiwan rejects China's one country, two systems offer. World News: Rubio asks U.S. to investigate China-based TikTok for censorship. Till that baseball fields are often built facing northeast. This is done so the sun is kept out of the batter's eyes during an afternoon game. There is even a rule in Major League Baseball, Rule 1.04, that advises the ballparks to be oriented this way. Politics: Trump supporters outnumbered at Utah anti-impeachment event. Shower thoughts: it's a miracle Phineas and Ferb never killed anyone.